Hello, friends. I've been looking at the media recently, trying to keep up with the news, and I've seen a lot about the practice of dog eating in Vietnam and how perhaps it might become illegal. Now, I'm no vegan, and I do eat meat and have eaten dog, but I find that the practice is a bit backward, and it might be time to outlaw it in Vietnam. Now, this is just my personal opinion. I know it doesn't mean much. I'm just kind of a neutral bystander. I'm not for eating dogs. I'm not against eating dogs. I just want to help you ask questions and so you can decide for yourself whether you want to eat dog or not, and if you want others to eat dog and the practice of eating dog in general. I find that creating a cost-benefit analysis can be helpful in situations such as these. So what I did was I took a piece of paper, drew a line down the middle, and on one side wrote down all the good things about eating dogs, and on the other side I wrote down all the bad things about eating dogs. So here are a few of the positive things I came up with about eating dogs. Maybe you can help me think of some more and let me know in the comments below. First thing, many people find dog to be delicious. I don't. I've tried it. Didn't taste that good to me personally, but some people really enjoy the taste. Another benefit of eating dogs is during times of hardship, if there's no other animals to eat, yes, you might be starving, you might have nothing else, so eating dogs is better than eating nothing at all. What else? Can't think of anything else. I brainstormed for a good 10 minutes. I don't know what else is good, but maybe there's something else. You can eat dogs and they won't bark, they won't annoy you. Or perhaps a dog bit you and you want to bite him back. Now you might be thinking, there's just a lot of good things about eating dog. What could be so bad about it? Well, according to an official government webpage from Saigon, there are many potential health effects that could arise from consuming dog meat. One of them is rabies. Now, mammals like bats, dogs, raccoons, they can all transmit the deadly disease of rabies, and there's no cure for rabies. So if you eat a dog and you somehow do contract rabies and you don't treat it immediately, you will die. According to a government safety watchdog reported in the VN Express, practice of dog husbandry is not regulated, and they do not conduct tests on the animals, be they blood tests or anything else. You're risking your health if you consume dog. I know a lot of people say that dog meat is pretty nutritious. Sure, it has some good protein, no doubt, but I know a few people, as a matter of fact, my father-in-law, who contracted gout because of eating dog meat. Now, my father-in-law, he used to raise dogs and consume them, but since he has access to delicious pork, some teat ball, chicken, he no longer eats dogs. Let me ask you one thing. Would you risk your health just because it tastes good? Personally, I wouldn't. Another issue that pops up when the consumption of dog meat is legal is pet theft. Now, I've had a few pets go missing so far, cats in particular, but I also know that dogs often get stolen and then sold to restaurants that prepare dog meat, cats as well. The amount of cruelty that surrounds the dog meat industry is just astounding. Dog catchers use hooks, they poison bait to trap dogs, they do whatever they can to make a quick buck, get the dog, sell it to the dog meat. In many cases, dog owners find their dogs at the dog meat restaurant and are charged crazy high prices to get their dogs back. Now, this seems extremely unethical to me, and it should be illegal. After all, it was their dog, stolen from them. Now they have to pay even more to get it back. That's why people who have had their dogs stolen before no longer eat dog. If you look at the history between humankind and dogs, there's tens of thousands of years of friendship between the two species. They're extremely friendly towards people, and they serve a lot of great uses. For example, blind seeing eye dogs. Dogs to help blind people navigate the world. They also make great guard dogs to protect your property. Why would you sacrifice the entire useful life of a dog for one quick mouth pleasure? Doesn't make sense. You have a lifetime companion right there in a dog or a cat, and they can do so much more than provide you with sustenance. They can be used in the army. They can be used for sniffing out drugs. They can be used to help blind people navigate the world. They are great companions, and I just don't see why you would completely disregard that and just eat it. After all, I mean, if you just want to eat food, get sustenance, why don't you just eat a dead corpse? Eat a human being. What's the difference? There's no difference between a dog and a cow. Well, what's the difference between a human and a dog? You're going to eat human meat? Doesn't make sense. I've seen a lot of pro-dog meat comments out there, and I would like to touch on a few of these just to give my opinion about how wrong they are in my belief. So a lot of people claim that it's part of the culture to eat dog, not only in Vietnam, but other places in East Asia, China, Korea. And I have to ask myself, if you're so proud of it, why don't you serve dog when you're conducting political meetings? Why doesn't the government serve dog to the diplomats that come here? When there's foreign affairs gatherings, do they ever serve dog? Maybe they do. I don't think they do, though. You have to distinguish a valid cultural custom with something that's a little bit depraved. You're hiding behind your culture and using it as a scapegoat to continue your selfish practices, in my opinion. There are many other cultural practices you could throw your weight behind. Do you do anything else to preserve the Vietnamese culture? Do you practice an instrument? Do you read classic Vietnamese poetry? Do you support Vietnamese-made products and companies? Or is eating dog the only part of the Vietnamese culture that you care about? A lot of Vietnamese, they claim that they're human and therefore they deserve to eat any animal they want. But if you really want to exercise your power as a human being, do so through your compassion, not with anger, not with selfishness, and not with cruelty. Cruelty is not a culture. You talk about your rights. You think it's your right to eat dog, and perhaps so. But if you care so much about these rights, why don't you talk about your other rights? I think there are more important rights to care about, such as the right to practice a religion of your choosing, the right to say what's on your mind, the right to have an opinion about things. Now, I know when someone criticizes another person, the first thing you want to do is be defensive. You want to be proud. You want to be nationalistic. You want to show that you cannot be bullied or pushed around. But in this case, I think that's misplaced when it comes to eating dogs. Sure, there are a lot of outside forces trying to change your country, your culture, your traditions. But instead of trying to change for the better, you hide behind this culture of yours, and it's really more about your selfish beliefs. It's about your selfishness and your unwillingness to adopt a more ethical way of life. Another argument that the pro-dog meat eaters have is that all animals are equal. You kill a mosquito, okay, you can kill a dog. You kill a fly, kill a cow, all the same. But I disagree with this because if you look at it, can a buffalo sniff drugs at the airport? Can a goat live in your house and give you comfort and support when you need it? Maybe, probably not. So that kind of proves my point that there's more to a dog's life than food. Like I said, I'm not a vegan, and I don't know if you can put one animal's life over another, but if we constantly try to eat less and less animals, maybe one day we won't have to. Maybe we'll get some lab-grown meat. Maybe we'll get some ethically made animal-like protein that doesn't require you to kill a living sentient being. Now I get where you're coming from, where the law is concerned. As an American, I value freedom, and I think that everyone should have the choice to do what they want to do, so long as it doesn't hurt someone else. Now, as far as the dog kidnapping goes, I'm not for that. As far as the potential for rabies goes, I'm not for that. But if there was a way for there to be proper government oversight, regulation, and perhaps a little more thought on the side of the consumer, perhaps the practice of dog eating could live on in a more ethical way that is safer and more beneficial to the population as a whole. So what I think there needs to be is harsher punishment for dog thieves. For one, I know a lot of times they get taken into the police, they don't get charged, or they don't really have to take responsibility for their actions. So if you can actually punish the dog thieves, that's a good step to take. I'm not a big fan of vigilante justice, but I do believe that systemic change can be made to prosecute dog thieves and animal abusers. It's one thing if you're going to eat it, kill it quickly, kill it humanely, but don't torture animals. I'm not trying to judge anyone. I'm not trying to claim that I'm superior in any way. I just hope maybe if one person thought a little bit more, if I changed one person's mind, or if I just made you think about the world and how to act ethically in it, then this video has done its job.